All right, let's dive deep into uh, how to nail that museum director interview.
Sounds good.
We're going to use RoleCatcher's Museum Director Career and Interview Guides as our roadmap for this one.
Excellent resources.
They are. They're really thorough.
Yeah,
So think of this as like your secret weapon for interview success, right?
definitely. We want to make sure you're ready for anything they throw at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't we start with a question that often trips people up? What inspired you to pursue a career in museum management?
Yeah, I think that one can feel a little intimidating.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to just sort of fall into the trap of like giving them a textbook answer, but I have a feeling they're looking for something
Oh,
more.
for sure. They want to see your passion, your genuine connection to the museum world.
Mm,
So instead of just listing qualifications, share a specific story.
yeah.
Maybe it was a childhood visit to a museum that sparked your fascination with ancient Egypt, or a particular exhibit that made history come alive for you.
Oh, I like.
Make it personal, make it
Yeah.
memorable.
Like your origin story as a museum enthusiast.
Exact.
But what about like follow-up questions? Like let's say you share a touching anecdote about your childhood love of dinosaur exhibits.
Sure.
Where could they go with that?
Well, they might ask you to connect that early passion to your current career goals.
Okay.
How did that childhood experience influence your decision to pursue museum management specifically? This is your chance to show how your interests have evolved and matured over time.
So it's about showing the trajectory from wide-eyed kid to seasoned professional, but with that same spark of enthusiasm.
Exactly.
I love it.
Let's move on to another one.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with the latest trends in the museum industry?
Ooh. Okay.
This one is all about showcasing your proactive approach to learning.
I bet simply saying I read industry publications won't cut it.
You're right.
Okay.
Instead of just listing sources, highlight a specific trend that fascinates you and explain how you're engaging with it. So, for example, you could talk about the growing use of augmented reality in museum exhibits and how you've been attending workshops or experimenting with AR apps to understand its potential.
That's so much more impactful
Absolutely.
than a generic answer.
Yes,
It shows you're not just aware of the trends, but you're actively exploring them.
exactly.
Now, I know RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze job descriptions and suggest relevant skills and experiences to highlight.
Mm-hmm.
How can it help with this particular question?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
The AI might pick up on keywords in the job description that emphasize digital literacy or innovative thinking.
Okay.
And based on that analysis, it might suggest you mention specific online courses you've taken or projects you've worked on that demonstrate those skills.
So it's like having a personalized cheat sheet that helps you tailor your answers to each specific museum
Exactly.
and their priorities. That's brilliant. Okay, let's tackle another question. How do you balance the preservation of artifacts with the need to make them accessible to the public?
This is a classic dilemma that gets to the heart of a museum's mission.
Mm,
The key here is to acknowledge both priorities and showcase your understanding of the delicate balance between them.
yeah, it sounds like they're looking for a nuanced answer, not a simple preservation first or accessibility above all else.
Precisely.
Right.
Think about specific examples of how you've navigated this challenge in the past.
Okay.
Perhaps you implemented a virtual tour program that allowed fragile artifacts to be viewed online, thus reducing physical handling.
Oh, that's good.
Or maybe you designed an interactive exhibit that engaged visitors while still adhering to strict preservation protocols.
Those are great examples. It's about showing you can think creatively and strategically to find solutions that benefit both the artifacts and the public.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, how could RoleCatcher's AI help someone prepare for this specific question?
Well, RoleCatcher's AI could analyze the museum's mission statement and online presence to get a sense of their values and priorities.
Okay.
If they emphasize community engagement or educational outreach, the AI might suggest highlighting examples that demonstrate your commitment to those aspects while still ensuring artifact preservation.
So it's not just about giving a textbook answer, it's about aligning your response with the specific museum's ethos.
Absolutely.
That's incredibly helpful. Okay, let's move on to a question that I know can be stressful for a lot of people. Can you describe a time when you had to handle a difficult situation with a visitor or staff member?
Yes, the dreaded behavioral question.
Yeah.
It's designed to assess your conflict resolution skills and professionalism under pressure.
Okay.
The key here is to choose an example that showcases your ability to remain calm, empathetic, and solution-oriented.
So it's not about airing dirty laundry or pointing fingers.
No, not at all.
It's about demonstrating your ability to handle tough situations with grace.
Exactly. Focus on the steps you took to de-escalate the situation, communicate effectively, and find a resolution that was fair and respectful to all involved, and highlight a positive outcome, showing how your actions led to a positive resolution.
Okay, so like a visitor feeling heard and understood, or a team member appreciating your guidance and support.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, let's say our listener is struggling to come up with a compelling example.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI can offer some guidance.
Okay.
It could analyze common conflict scenarios in museum settings and suggest relevant examples based on the listener's experience.
Oh, okay.
It could also help them structure their response in a STAR format, which is a popular framework for answering behavioral questions effectively.
So it's like having like a virtual interview coach.
Yes.
Guiding you through the process.
Exactly.
That's so helpful. Okay, let's shift gears to a topic that's crucial for any museum director. Finances. The question might be phrased as, how do you ensure that the museum has a sustainable financial future? Or what are your strategies for managing the museum's budget effectively?
Right. This is where you need to showcase your business acumen and understanding of the museum's financial landscape.
Yeah, so it's not just about balancing the books.
No.
It's about finding innovative ways to keep the museum financially healthy in the long run.
Exactly.
Huh.
You could talk about exploring partnerships with corporations, foundations, or even individual donors.
Okay.
You can mention developing unique events or experiences that generate revenue while also engaging new audiences.
I love that.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, aligning fundraising efforts with audience engagement.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Now, before we move on to the next question, I want to touch on a career insight from RoleCatcher's Museum Director Career Guide.
Sounds good.
The guide emphasizes the importance of building a strong network within the museum community. How does that relate to the question about financial sustainability?
That's a great connection. Having a strong network can be invaluable when it comes to fundraising.
All right.
Those relationships can lead to new partnerships, sponsorships, and even individual donations.
So it's not just what you know.
Right.
It's who you know.
Exactly.
And building those relationships takes time and effort.
Absolutely.
Which is a great reminder for anyone aspiring to be a museum director.
It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Now, shall we tackle another question?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, how about this one? How do you motivate and engage your team members to achieve shared goals?
Leadership. This is where we get to see your ability to inspire and guide a team.
Exactly.
What are interviewers looking for in a response to this question?
Well, they want to see that you understand what makes a workplace truly engaging.
Okay.
It's about more than just assigning tasks and setting deadlines. It's about creating a culture where team members feel valued, respected, and empowered to contribute their best work.
So it's about fostering a sense of ownership and shared purpose within the team.
Exactly. You want to convey that you can create an environment where everyone feels invested in the museum's success.
Okay.
Think about specific examples of how you've done this in the past.
Right.
Perhaps you implemented a mentorship program, created opportunities for professional development, or simply made an effort to recognize and celebrate team achievements.
Those are all great examples. It's about showing that you're not just a manager, but a leader who inspires and empowers others.
Exactly.
I'm curious, how could RoleCatcher's AI help someone prepare for this specific question?
RoleCatcher's AI could analyze leadership styles and best practices in the museum industry.
Okay.
Based on that analysis, it might suggest highlighting examples that demonstrate your ability to foster collaboration, communication, and a positive work environment.
So it's about tailoring your response to the specific expectations of the museum world.
Absolutely.
That's really insightful. Okay, let's tackle another question that has become increasingly important in recent years. How do you ensure that the museum's programs and exhibits are inclusive and accessible to diverse audiences?
This question speaks to the broader social responsibility of museums today.
Oh.
It's about recognizing that museums should be spaces that welcome and represent everyone in the community.
It's about moving beyond the traditional, often exclusive image of museums.
Yes.
And creating a more inclusive and equitable experience for all visitors.
Exactly. When answering this question, showcase your understanding of different audience needs and the steps you take to create a truly inclusive experience.
Okay.
You could talk about offering materials in multiple languages, designing exhibits that consider different levels of accessibility, or partnering with community organizations to ensure that your programming reflects the diversity of the community you serve.
Those are excellent examples. It's
Yep.
about it's about demonstrating a genuine commitment to making the museum a space where everyone feels welcome, represented, and engaged.
Exactly.
Now, before we move on to the next question, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's Career Guide for another valuable insight.
Sounds great.
The guide highlights the importance of staying updated on current conversations and debates surrounding diversity and inclusion in the museum field. Why is this so important for aspiring museum directors?
That's an excellent point. The museum field, like many others, is undergoing a necessary and important process of reckoning with its historical biases and exclusionary practices. It's crucial for museum leaders to be aware of these conversations, engage with them thoughtfully, and be prepared to lead their institutions through a process of meaningful change.
So it's not just about implementing superficial changes.
Right.
It's about understanding the deeper issues and being committed to creating a more equitable and just museum environment for everyone.
Precisely. It's about demonstrating a genuine commitment to diversity and inclusion, both within the museum itself and in the broader community it serves. Now, let's get back to those interview questions.
All right.
This next one really delves into your financial expertise. Can you walk us through your experience with fundraising, budgeting, and financial planning?
This is where those business skills really come into play. It sounds like they want to see the depth and breadth of your financial management experience.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Be prepared to discuss your experience with securing grants, cultivating donor relationships, managing budgets, and developing long-term financial strategies.
Okay.
It's all about demonstrating that you have a solid grasp of financial management and can ensure the museum's long-term stability.
And I bet they're looking for specific examples of your successes in these areas.
Yes, definitely.
Did you secure a major grant that funded a new exhibit?
Yeah.
Did you develop a budgeting strategy that reduced expenses while maintaining program quality?
Those are great examples. The more specific and quantifiable your examples are, the better.
Okay.
It shows that you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk when it comes to financial management.
Now, I'm wondering, how could RoleCatcher's AI assist someone in preparing for this particular question?
RoleCatcher's AI could analyze financial trends and best practices in the museum industry.
Okay.
It could also suggest highlighting examples that demonstrate your ability to secure funding, manage budgets effectively, and make data-driven financial decisions.
So it's about tailoring your response to the specific expectations and challenges of managing a museum's finances.
Absolutely.
That's incredibly helpful. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground on interview questions, but before we move on to the next set, I want to pause and reflect on a key insight from RoleCatcher's Museum Director Career Guide.
Sounds good.
The guide emphasizes the importance of continuous learning in the museum field. It mentions attending conferences, workshops, and even pursuing advanced degrees.
Right.
Why is this so crucial for someone aspiring to lead a museum?
That's a fantastic point. The museum field is constantly evolving, with new technologies, trends, and challenges emerging all the time.
Yeah.
To be an effective leader, you need to stay ahead of the curve and continuously expand your knowledge and skill set.
So it's not enough to simply have a passion for art and history.
Right.
You need to be a lifelong learner,
Absolutely.
always seeking out new information and perspectives.
That's a great way to put it. Continuous learning demonstrates your commitment to professional growth and your dedication to staying at the forefront of the museum field.
Yeah.
It shows that you're not complacent, you're hungry for knowledge, and eager to embrace new ideas.
I love that.
Now, should we get back to those interview questions?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Let's dive into one that digs a little deeper into leadership. What's your leadership style, and how do you think it aligns with the demands of a museum director role?
Leadership styles. I bet interviewers are looking for more than just a label like collaborative or results-oriented.
You're absolutely right. They want to see that you thought deeply about your leadership approach and how it translates into action.
Oh.
So instead of simply stating a style, describe how you embody those qualities in your leadership.
So if you say you're a collaborative leader,
Yeah.
you might share an anecdote about a time you successfully facilitated a brainstorming session with your team to solve a challenging problem.
Exactly. And don't forget to connect your leadership style to the specific demands of a museum director role.
Mm-hmm.
You can mention how your collaborative approach helps you build consensus among diverse stakeholders, from curators to donors.
Okay.
Or you could explain how your strategic thinking and vision helps you guide the museum towards a sustainable future.
It's all about showcasing how your leadership style makes you the perfect fit for this demanding but rewarding role.
Exactly.
Okay, let's shift gears to a question that's often asked towards the end of an interview. What questions do you have for us?
Yes. This is your chance to turn the tables and demonstrate your genuine interest in the position and the museum.
Yeah.
It's also an opportunity to gather valuable information that can help you make an informed decision.
So it's not just about asking questions for the sake of asking questions.
Right.
It's about showing you've done your research and you're genuinely curious to learn more.
Precisely. Prepare a few thoughtful questions in advance that demonstrate your understanding of the museum's mission, its current challenges, and its future goals.
Okay.
For example, you could ask about their plans for expanding their digital presence or their approach to engaging new audiences.
Ooh, I love that idea of asking about their digital strategy. It shows you're forward thinking and interested in the evolving landscape of the museum world. Now, before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, I want to highlight one more career insight from RoleCatcher's Museum Director Career Guide.
Sounds good.
The guide mentions the importance of developing strong communication skills, both written and verbal. Why is this so crucial for someone aspiring to lead a museum?
That's a fundamental skill for any leadership role, but especially for museum directors. You'll be communicating with a wide range of stakeholders, from your staff and board members to donors, community leaders, and the general public.
Yeah.
You'll need to articulate your vision, inspire your team, persuade potential funders, and engage with diverse audiences.
So it's not just about being a good speaker.
Right.
It's about being a master communicator,
Yes.
able to adapt your message and your style to different contexts and audiences.
Exactly. Strong communication skills are essential for building relationships, fostering collaboration, and advocating for the museum's mission. And that wraps up our first segment of questions.
Great. I'm ready for more.
Welcome back to our deep dive into museum director interview prep. Let's pick up where we left off, diving into more specific scenarios and challenges that might come your way during the interview.
I'm ready to tackle some tough questions.
Great.
Let's say the interviewer presents you with a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Like imagine the museum is facing a budget shortfall. How would you approach this challenge while maintaining the quality of the museum's programs and exhibits?
This is a great example of a situational question that tests your problem-solving skills, financial acumen, and leadership abilities. The key here is to demonstrate a strategic and balanced approach.
So it's not just about cutting costs across the board.
Right.
It's about finding creative solutions that minimize the impact on the museum's core mission and visitor experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could talk about exploring alternative funding sources such as grants or corporate sponsorships.
Okay.
You could discuss renegotiating contracts with vendors or exploring cost-saving measures in areas like energy consumption or staffing.
I love that idea of diversifying funding sources. It's about being proactive and exploring every avenue to secure the museum's financial stability.
Precisely.
Right.
And don't forget to emphasize your commitment to maintaining the quality of the museum's programs and exhibits. You could talk about prioritizing essential programs, seeking input from staff and stakeholders, and finding innovative ways to deliver value even with limited resources.
It's about showcasing your ability to make tough decisions while still prioritizing the museum's core values and its commitment to serving the community.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, how could RoleCatcher's AI assist someone in preparing for this type of situational question?
Well, RoleCatcher's AI could analyze common financial challenges faced by museums and provide relevant examples of successful strategies implemented by other institutions.
Oh.
It could also help you structure your response in a clear and concise manner, highlighting your problem-solving process and your ability to make data-driven decisions.
That's so helpful. It's like having a virtual consultant on hand to guide you through the process of addressing complex challenges.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to another scenario that might come up during the interview. Imagine a valuable artifact in the museum's collection is damaged. How would you handle this situation?
Oh, this scenario assesses your crisis management skills, your knowledge of museum protocols, and your ability to communicate effectively with various stakeholders.
Yeah, it sounds like they're looking for someone who can remain calm under pressure, follow established procedures,
Hmm.
and keep everyone informed while taking appropriate action.
Exactly. The first step is to acknowledge the seriousness of the situation and express your commitment to resolving it swiftly and professionally.
Okay.
You would then outline the steps you would take, such as securing the area, contacting the appropriate conservators or experts,
Hmm.
and initiating an investigation to determine the cause of the damage.
It's about demonstrating a clear understanding of museum protocols and a commitment to transparency and accountability.
Precisely.
Okay.
You'd also want to mention communicating with the museum's insurance provider,
Hmm.
documenting the damage thoroughly,
Okay.
and updating relevant stakeholders, including the Board of Trustees and potentially the public, depending on the severity of the situation.
It's about showcasing your ability to manage a crisis effectively,
Hmm.
minimizing damage,
Hmm.
and restoring trust in the museum's ability to care for its valuable collections.
Yes.
Now, I'm curious, how could RoleCatcher's AI help someone prepare for this specific scenario?
Well, RoleCatcher's AI could provide access to case studies of similar incidents in other museums, allowing you to learn from real-world examples of crisis management in a museum setting.
Oh, that's interesting.
It could also help you identify key stakeholders and communication channels to ensure a smooth and transparent response.
That's so valuable. It's like having a behind the scenes look at how other museums have handled similar challenges.
Exactly.
Okay, let's shift gears to a scenario that focuses on your leadership and interpersonal skills.
Hmm.
Imagine a conflict arises between two members of your curatorial team. How would you approach mediating this situation?
This scenario assesses your conflict resolution skills, your ability to foster a positive work environment, and your understanding of team dynamics.
It's about showing that you can address conflict constructively,
Yeah.
facilitate communication,
Mhm.
and find a solution that benefits both the individuals involved and the museum as a whole.
Exactly.
Okay.
The first step is to acknowledge the conflict and create a safe space for both parties to express their perspectives.
Okay.
You would then listen actively, encourage empathy, and help them identify common ground.
It's about being a mediator, not a judge.
Precisely.
Okay.
Your goal is to facilitate a dialogue, not impose a solution. You would want to guide them towards a resolution that addresses their concerns, respects their perspectives, and preserves a positive working relationship.
It's about showcasing your ability to manage conflict effectively, fostering a harmonious work environment,
Yes,
and ensuring the smooth functioning of the museum's team.
exactly.
Now, I'm curious, how could RoleCatcher's AI help someone prepare for this specific scenario?
Well, RoleCatcher's AI could provide access to resources on conflict resolution techniques and best practices for managing interpersonal conflicts in the workplace.
Okay.
It could also help you identify potential communication barriers and suggest strategies for overcoming them.
That's so helpful. It's like having a virtual coach guiding you through the process of navigating those tricky interpersonal dynamics.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we've covered a good range of scenarios in this second part of our deep dive.
We certainly have. We've explored some challenging situations that might come up during a museum director interview. But remember, these scenarios are designed to assess your skills and abilities, not to trip you up.
Yeah.
They're opportunities to showcase your problem-solving skills, your leadership qualities, and your passion for the museum world.
Absolutely. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI tools are there to help you every step of the way,
They are.
providing personalized insights, feedback, and resources to boost your confidence and help you shine in that interview.
Exactly.
Okay, in the final part of our deep dive, we'll touch on some concluding thoughts, reiterating key takeaways, and offering some final words of encouragement to help you approach that interview with confidence and enthusiasm.
That sounds great.
Okay, so stay tuned for the final part of our museum director interview prep deep dive.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the final part of our museum director interview deep dive.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
We have, from common interview questions to those challenging scenarios, and We even talked about how RoleCatcher's AI can give you that personalized edge during the interview process.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to one crucial element that can really make or break your interview.
Okay, what's that?
Authenticity.
Ah, yes, that's so important.
Yeah.
While it's important to be prepared and polished,
Mm-hmm.
it's equally important to let your genuine enthusiasm and passion for the museum world shine through.
Yeah, it's about being yourself, showcasing your unique personality and perspective,
Mhm.
and demonstrating a genuine connection to the museum's mission and values.
Exactly.
Mm.
Remember, interviewers are looking for more than just a qualified candidate.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for someone who will bring energy, enthusiasm, and a fresh perspective to the role.
Someone who will be a passionate advocate for the museum and its mission.
Yes, and that passion can't be faked.
Right.
It has to come from within.
Absolutely.
So as you prepare for your interview, take some time to reflect on what truly excites you about the museum world.
Okay.
What are your personal values and how do they align with the museum's mission?
Mm-hmm.
What are your unique strengths and how can you leverage them to make a meaningful contribution to the museum's success?
It's about finding that sweet spot where your passion intersects with the museum's needs.
Yes.
And when you can articulate that connection, it resonates with interviewers.
It makes you stand out from the crowd.
Mm.
It shows that you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for a place to make a difference.
Exactly. And speaking of making a difference, I want to touch on one last career insight
Hmm.
from RoleCatcher's Museum Director Career Guide that really resonated with me.
Oh, I'm curious to hear it.
The guide emphasizes the importance of thinking beyond the traditional boundaries of the museum.
Okay.
It encourages aspiring museum directors to envision new ways to engage with the community,
Mm,
to make the museum a more inclusive and accessible space,
right.
and to leverage technology to reach new audiences.
That's a powerful message.
Yeah.
It's a call to action for museum leaders to be innovative, to be bold,
Mm-hmm.
and to embrace the transformative potential of the 21st century museum.
It's about reimagining the museum as a vital hub for learning, creativity,
Yes.
and community engagement, and it's a vision that I believe will resonate with interviewers,
Mm-hmm.
especially those who are looking for a leader who can take the museum to new heights.
Absolutely.
So as you prepare for your interview,
Yep.
don't be afraid to share your bold ideas, your innovative vision,
Mhm.
and your passion for making the museum a vibrant and relevant force in the community.
It's about showing them that you're not just there for a job, you're there to make a lasting impact.
Exactly. And who knows, your vision might be exactly what they're looking for.
It very well could be.
Now, don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way. From tailoring your resume to practicing your answers to even helping you discover new career paths you may not have considered.
It's like having a personal career coach and cheerleader in your corner.
Yeah.
So go out there, be yourself, shine brightly, and nail that interview.
We have no doubt you'll do great.
Yeah, and remember, no matter the outcome,
Mm.
your passion for the museum world is a gift, so keep nurturing it.
Yeah.
Keep learning and keep making a difference.
That brings us to the end of our museum director interview deep dive.
It does.
We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and empowering.
To our listener, best of luck with your interview.
We believe in you. And remember, no matter where your career path takes you,
Mm-hmm.
keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the things that ignite your passion.
Until next time.
Until next time.